Hey guys, it's Archil, CEO of GenesisAI. So I think we're gonna wait for maybe 30 more seconds and we can get started after that. Okay, great. So we can get started. So again, this is Archil here, CEO of GenesisAI. For attendees who might not know much about what we do and what interesting things we do, I'll quickly go through, tell you a brief story about how we got started working on GenesisAI, and after that, we are going to transition and talk about some of the major updates we have, both on the product side and also about the business development side as well. I'm pretty sure we have some of our existing investors and community members and hopefully customers too on this call who are waiting to hear some updates we have been collecting to share with you today. So briefly, Genesis AI, we started after we found what to be the major problem in AI space, which is there are so many AI tools out there in the internet, for example, open source code on GitHub or AI tools that exist under the major or smaller startups. And these tools are not connected with each other. There has been a very limited way to allow these tools to exchange data, trade services, and learn from each other. It has been sort of mind blowing for us that AI, which is all about learning from data we give, was not structured in a way that it could also learn from other AI tools as well, exchange data from other AI tools, and so on. It very much seemed like disorganization, very much seemed like everyone wanted to basically optimize for what was good for themselves, and nobody really cared about the whole ecosystem. So what we did was we basically teamed up to start Genesis AI with the goal to solve this problem of connectivity. And we started by building an AI API marketplace. Our current AI marketplace has lots of different AI API tools. And the way it works, I guess a high level idea is to allow software engineers and also non-technical people to discover, test, and integrate different AI APIs in their ecosystem, right? Idea here is, let's say that I'm working on building a speech translation application. Let's say I want speech to be translated directly from Chinese into English. And let's say I already have very good speech recognition tools that is able to recognize a speech in Mandarin and is able to transcribe that from speech to text. But let's say I do not have a translation AI. So what can I do? I can try to build this translation tool myself. I can try to search in the internet for the best translation service, or alternatively, you can go to Genesis AI Marketplace and you can discover, test, and integrate this translation tool into your application, so that you can go from speech recognition only capability to speech translation capability. So this is our approach towards expanding the functionality of different applications for customers and for users, right? So this is one main example of values that our AI tool, AI marketplace brings. And second example of the values that our AI marketplace brings is by allowing developers to monetize their AI APIs, their babies that they created, so that they want to grow up and help other people. That's exactly what our marketplace allows. You can deploy your AI API on our marketplace, and hopefully you will get some of our users who will subscribe and pay for your tool. And from that amount of payments, we are going to grab 30% of the transaction. In cases in which we are ones who deploy this AI tool, we are going to get 100% of the subscription fees that user will pay. The reason why we decide to allow anyone to deploy their AI API is because our belief to allow everyone in the world to basically be able to ride on this beautiful wave of AI and be able to monetize their technology irrespective of their sales skills, irrespective of whether they are based in, for example, Silicon Valley. What we really wanted since beginning is to allow, for example, PhD students from Romania who doesn't really know much about sales and he doesn't even care, he doesn't want to do anything about it, to actually start building this tool on the marketplace and potentially monetize his or her solution and not worry about things like, oh, how do I get leads? How do I schedule meetings? How do I actually close it and go through this gruesome process of selling to large or small companies? I think we all have been there, and ideally, if marketplace can do that for you, you know that you're definitely going to save lots of time and have a lot more fun as well. So let's talk a little bit about how this marketplace have been evolving and what has been one interesting AI tools that we have been developing. So we tried this. We basically have been experimenting with two types of marketing strategy on marketplace. First marketing strategy has been to basically advertise the marketplace, right? Tell people here are lots of AI tools we have. You can come in, discover, test, and integrate this into your own development environment. Yeah, here's a link, sign up. This has been one way of marketing. And then second way we start to experiment is what we call Netflix model. Netflix model is, here's example. Netflix operates as a marketplace, right? Pretty much. It has lots of movies, probably tens of thousands of movies. Some of them probably are one of your favorite movies too. And the Netflix also has what they call Netflix originals. Netflix originals are movies developed, directed, and basically produced by Netflix. And you can only watch, in most cases, Netflix originals on Netflix, which means that one of the best marketing strategies that they found is to grow their subscription base is by having a unique selling point, which is here is a movie you really want to watch and you should really consider watching, and you can only do that on Netflix. And guess what? You cannot really watch it for free. You need to subscribe. So lots of people actually decide to subscribe, and then Netflix gonna recommend them other movies to keep them retained, right? So we decide to experiment with this marketing strategy, basically focusing on developing one important and hopefully very, very valuable tool that's going to be our Netflix original, something that's going to convince people to come in on our marketplace. And then we will be like, oh, here is another AI tool that you might enjoy. And as a whole grows the marketplace, right? And this one tool that I'm talking about is email tool, right? Some of our active followers and community members know what we want to do with this email tool, and I'll briefly summarize here. So, and also how we decide to start this email tool, right? So we have been in email marketing, I guess, environment for last few years, and we found that it's very hard to send out cold emails. For example, if you decide to send cold emails from a MailChimp, you'll probably be suspended in probably 1 or 2 weeks. One way not to be suspended by basically MailChimp or SendGrid or similar tools is to have your own custom mail server. Idea here is to basically rent a virtual private computer and then set up a mailing server there, and using that mailing server to send out emails, right? So initially we set up a couple of mailing servers ourselves. I think it took me maybe a week or so to do it. It also involved coding, and I was like, this is too time consuming. How about we automate this process of building mailing servers for people? And now if you decide to check out our tool on app.genesisai.io, you can actually provide your domain information, and the mailing server creation will start automatically. It's a very complicated process that we were, I guess, like mostly like myself and our engineers were able to do that. So you go from 0 to 1 in terms of fully automatically building a marketplace in like 90% of cases, unless there is some major bugs there, either on the customer side, on our side. And that has been groundbreaking for us. You can have a mailing server ready to go in basically, usually it takes us like 2-3 hours for this mailing servers to be fully functional. So how is this related to AI as well, right? So our email marketing tool has been primarily large scale cold email marketing tool, right? Whenever you hear words large scale, I guess you need to really think about whether there's an application or I guess like benefits can be derived by using AI, right? So we did a couple of things. First thing we did has been AI-powered email personalization. Idea here is, let's say you are a sales development agent, right? And you want to email to 10,000 small businesses to sell, I don't know, sell your drawings, for example, right? And what you can do, you can basically try to change each person's first names and send out these 10,000 emails. That's probably has been email personalization 1.0, where you basically change the name only. Or you can also do what we call email personalization 2.0. Idea here is you can personalize, for example, the location of a person. For example, if you know that person lives in California, you can have something like, I saw that you are based in Caltag, California, and we can also, for example, ship it for you there, right? This is email personalization 2.0, and then there's email personalization 3.0, which really became possible only since basically since after GPT-4 came out. You are able to personalize emails based on biography of a person. So basically, if you have a biography of a person, you can have something like, given your interest in this, or let's say biography of a person says that this guy is an expert in art, right? You can say something like, given your expertise in art, I know you will appreciate potentially checking out these drawings and blah, 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 right? This is all done by AI. It has incredible results based on some of the tests we have run. It improves response rates by around 30 to 40%, which is substantial boost. And it also saves lots of time. Imagine if you really wanted to personalize this email based on this last example I mentioned. It's probably going to take you at least 5 minutes, right? In some cases, 10 minutes. And if you want to send out 10,000 personalized emails, it's going to be 100,000 minutes. That's lots of time to spend on something that's probably not the most fun thing to do. Like just like making the small personalization tweaks. I don't think anyone right now, if you ask any kid, nobody will tell you that, oh, I want to spend 100,000 minutes on personalizing emails when I grow up, right? This is clearly not the most fulfilling things we can do. And that's where AI is coming in. This is one example of personalization that we already have done, right? Second example that I think we have a really working prototype. We're probably going to deploy this in 1 or 2 weeks. Is automated AI powered response generator, response to response generator. What I mean by this is if you're sending 100,000 of emails, right, and you are getting let's say like 0.1% responses or 0.5% of this email recipients respond, it means you'll be getting lots of emails. And it's not the most fun thing to do to generate and write this response draft. And AI actually, mostly thanks to GPT-4, thanks to OpenAI and Sam Altman and so on. But OpenAI, mostly because of these tools, you are actually able to generate response. You need to make some changes in their default system so that it actually going to generate based on the tonality or based on the how short you want it to be, and then based on the context you have, being able to generate exact type of response that might be ideal. But this potentially also can save enormous amount of time for people, right? So these are two examples that are, I would say, groundbreaking in terms of saving people's time and also allowing people to maximize how much value they derive from sending one email, right? So let's talk a little bit about phases we are at, right? So first of all, what kind of phases startups have? I'm sure lots of you guys who are attending have either done a startup or invested in a startup or maybe are working in a startup. There are usually like 3 phases, right? So first phase is customer discovery, second phase is customer validation, and third phase is scaling it up. So customer discovery, which we believe we already completed, is basically idea of figuring out what people want. We spoke to lots of companies, we spoke to lots of people. Most importantly, we have been customers of our own email tool. So we have been basically building this tool for ourselves initially, right? We believe we have pretty good understanding of what our customers want, and I think we do have some sort of a check mark there. Right now, we are in the second phase, which is customer validation. Something we are very confident about is that this email tool worked for us. It worked incredibly for us. Now, what we need to prove is somebody who is not necessarily us can also benefit from this as well, right? And there are variables that are coming in. For example, maybe person doesn't want to put in as much time into this email marketing tool as I did, right? Or maybe person doesn't know that much about marketing or in general email marketing as much as I did. There are many other variables. Maybe somebody is a little bit more impatient. They want to send out 100,000 emails from day one. So our goal is to basically build a solution that's going to be super useful, not just for us, but also for customers as well. And I think we are figuring out right now exactly which parts of our tool works really well for customers and which one does not. For example, we learned that we need to add a lot more sort of quality checks. For example, some of our customers, they would subscribe, and then they would start sending out emails that were really not cold email or marketing optimized. And the solution we came up was basically AI powered email quality checker. So you will copy paste your email into our quality checker tool, which is on app GenesisAI.io, and our tool will basically tell you what to change and what not to change as well. But mostly what to change. For example, remove this, add this, edit this, blah blah blah. So this has been really helpful. But there are like probably 10 other things we need to do in order to make sure that users will act in a similar way as we did, which we know really, really worked, right? So now we have two basically major decision, and maybe I would love to hear from some of our attendees what they think, which way should we go. But one direction is basically to add a lot more, can call it quality checks and limitations and so on. For example, before a person is able to send out email, our AI powered quality checker needs to give them approval about the email. Or if a person decides to send 100,000 emails from day one, we are not going to allow them to do that. This is one direction that we are looking at. Second direction is full automation. Full automation means you're going to go to our email marketing tool, you're going to upload your email data, specify what goal you have, and then our AI tool will do pretty much everything. What I mean by pretty much everything is going to draft emails for you. It's going to edit email for you. It's going to start sending out 500 emails a day and increase the daily sending volume by 10% a day. If open rates drop, it's going to change the, for example, email draft, or it's going to pause sending emails until the open rates improve, right? So all things that I have been doing manually, and lots of our customers have been doing manually, can be fully automated. So as of today, we are definitely leaning towards the second option, full automation. Based on customer conversations we had and based on our own experience, this can save incredible amount of time. People really don't want to be editing emails and checking open rates every day. What they really want is to upload the data, give a high level direction, and then AI tool will do the rest. You're going to have, for example, if your goal is to generate meetings, you're going to receive emails, or when should we chat, when should we talk, or pretty much like every single day. That's the ideal outcome of this tool, right? Minimum time spent and maximum output. This has been our vision from day one. And I think, assuming there are no crazy third variables and outside factors here, I think we probably will be able to finish this full automation, probably like maybe 4-6 months around. Sometimes they're around maybe like it's most 6 months. And I believe if we do that, our tool will probably become 10 out of 10 for customers. So I think at that point, we probably will be good to go to start with scaling up. So I think lots of our investors have been waiting and hoping that we are going to start scaling up as soon as possible. And I appreciate the patience. And if we are, but again, I'm going to reiterate, if I'm going to start, I can start scaling up today. We can use our own email marketing tool to send incredible number of emails, get lots of customers, gets potentially lots of customers, paid customers from that campaign. But last thing I want is to spend all this energy on this and then have people churning, right? Basically, people canceling subscriptions after a few months. We want to have sustainable, long-term, efficient growth plan, which only can be achieved by having product that is either 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 is rated by customers end users, right? So first we want to get there, and once we get there, then we can really, really scale it up. So even though what we have been doing right now is not, the main goal has not been to maximize revenue, amount of revenue, this is, by the way, revenue announcement, lots of people have been also expecting. Our revenue, I guess, in like last, basically since in 2024 has been around 11 times more than what we had in last year from January to June. So I'm pretty happy about this, especially take into account that we are not in a scaling mode. We are not into this mode of growth at all cost. Some of our conversion rates from sales call to actually person subscribing has been incredibly good. I think, I don't know the exact number, but probably like 30-40% around, roughly it has been oscillating. So I am pretty happy about that. And scaling, if we decide to scale, for example, this sometimes later, I don't know, September or October or November, I think we can do potentially a lot more. But we just of course will depend on when we're going to start scaling up, and of course it's going to depend on how much our users going to rate our product from, let's say, 0 to 10, right? So I'm very excited about this revenue numbers. Revenue numbers mostly has been coming from two sources. First is basically the subscription fees that people have been paying for our email tool, and second has been email data. I think we have around probably like 14 million emails collected from a variety of sources, and we have been acting as a reseller of those emails, similar to how, for example, Zoom Info has been doing it. And I think they made great, incredible business out of it. It's a publicly traded company now. Last time I checked, I think like 5 billion valuation or something like that, market cap. So that just shows that there is, if we're really going to do this well, there is a chance of potentially becoming very, very big. So I guess we will see how fast we will be able to execute on our roadmap. So let's talk a little bit more about actually AI market, right? So AI market is at the cusp of probably another major breakthrough, because GPT-5 is expected to, there are still rumors about when it's going to come out, but most likely it's going to be sometimes later this summer. And that's going to be, another major driver of people's interest in this sector, another major driver of people using these AI tools, which again will be directly related to how fast, let's say, next version of the AI tools will improve, right? So I think we are in a perfect industry as of today, in terms of the size, in terms of how fast it's growing, in terms of potentially what are some of the breakthroughs that might happen in the future. So I'm very excited to be in this. And again, there are startup has few parts. First is team, market, traction, mission. If market gonna support us, I think it's gonna be a substantial help in us achieving some of our modest goals we have, right? So perfect. Okay, let's talk a little bit about I guess last two topics: the team and fundraising. So I was quickly mention about the team. Our team has been doing an incredible job. We have made so much progress, especially with this email tool. If you're going to go to again app.genesisai.io, sign up, or watch some of the demos of the YouTube videos I have done, you're going to see basically how much we have really done about this product. It's a fully functioning email marketing tool with lots of different features, and we also have so many AI elements into it. So I have, even though we are a pretty small team, we were able to do so much, right? I think now even though that our team size is smaller than what it was at, let's say, 2021, I personally believe we are actually able to progress faster than we were before. Seems like it's a function of, it's more about the efficiency rather than the quantity, right? And also, I guess Elon Musk proved that also in Twitter, right? Where even though that the size of the company got reduced, I guess revenue and other things actually generating revenue became more efficient in terms of cost to generate revenue, right? So that's about team. It's a core team. It's me and Artyom. We have been working for more than, I think, like 2 years around or so. He's been doing incredible job, and I also have been doing lots of engineering work. Many ways when you are a CEO and you do engineering, not only you can motivate people more and set better deadlines, but also you'll find that it's a lot more fun actually. So I have been enjoying this very much myself, and I think the process will become even easier once the GPT-5 comes out. Right? In general, I think everyone who is writing code, their productivity probably went up like at least 2x. For me, it went up like 10x after the GPT-4 came out. And about the fundraising, so in the existing round, we raised around 700,000, which I'm very thankful about. Investors, new investors, existing investors who are invested, I would like to thank you guys for this. Your support means a lot. And again, I said this many times, together we are stronger and we can achieve more. And I really hope that in next couple of months we'll be able to achieve some of our goals. So, you know, again, I appreciate the patience from lots of people, especially right now. Right, we have seen that market has not been doing the best. I'm talking about the stock market. We have seen that lots of companies have been delaying to IPO. Startups who were trying to progress faster, taking a longer time, or in some cases it might never happened, right? So I really appreciate everyone being riding along with us, and also basically helping out and providing support to us in many different ways. Lots of our users are our investors, and we have been getting so much help, either in terms of hiring or in terms of feedback from our existing community. So I really appreciate that. So perfect. Okay, now I guess now we can move to the questions. I will try to cover some of the questions that have been asked in last few weeks, I guess, or maybe last few months. We have been doing these webinars usually once in every 6 months, and I think we're going to probably keep the same schedule. So some of the questions, I guess, I will start with one of the questions that actually in our chat: in how many companies in S&P 500 you can sell your products? This is excellent question, Sandro. I think ideas, there are a couple of things, right? So yeah, let's talk about marketplace, and let's talk about email marketing tool, right? So marketplace, anyone technically who wants to use AI API, let's talk about mostly engineers, can be customers of our product, right? So mostly large companies with substantial engineering departments, ideally with a substantial interest in using API technologies or using AI technology, right, in general. So maybe my guess would be potentially 70% of S&P 500 people can be companies to whom who might potentially become our customers, right? That's first. And second part is email marketing tool. So email marketing tool market for that is incredibly large, because when you think about almost every business sends out emails, and after iOS 14 changes, this data privacy changes that Apple made, we have seen how worse Facebook and Google Ads work, and how much problematic it is, much more problematic it is to generate substantial ROIs there. So what we believe is a much better alternative to this is actually email marketing. A cost to send email is very little, all right, and most people do open emails actually. For example, lots of our accounts we have like 25-30%. So it's one of the cheapest way to grab somebody's attention, and targeting, or in most cases, can also be ideal, right? For example, if you want to target somebody based on title, then email too can be ideal for that. If you want to target somebody based on, oh, I want to target people who might be interested in purchasing, for example, green dress, right? Then you probably want to do Facebook ads and Google ads, because Facebook ads will be able to do a lot better targeting than any email data marketplace can help you with that. Email personalization, again, anybody can be a customer for that who is using to send out emails. I think in the next few years, people will be sort of will be sort of like surprised at all how I was spending so much time on personalizing emails, and I think humans will stop doing it in most cases. And the third part, email sending, we are focused on cold emailing specifically. Most of the S&P 500 companies do not do very large scale cold emailing. They do more smaller scale in terms of per employee, right? For example, each employee is not going to email to 100,000 companies. They're probably going to email to 2,000 companies, 3,000 companies. But as a whole, the company is sending lots of cold emails. So our ideal customers for the cold email marketing solution is not S&P 500 companies, but it's actually more on the direction of medium-sized and smaller companies. Those companies are more willing to actually do cold email on mass scale. Then, for example, if Bank of America will start sending lots of cold emails, that might be not as valuable as a smaller startup, right? Because people already know Bank of America, so don't even need to send out lots of cold emails. Probably just going to email to their own subscriber base to upsell them and blah blah blah, right? So yeah, okay, sounds good. So I guess the second direction is to talk a little bit about the roadmap, right? So roadmap, I briefly mentioned it, but our goal is to actually build a fully automatic email marketing solution. Idea is you're going to upload data, you're going to specify what's your goal, going to provide your website link, or we are just going to like take it from the, let's say, from the user registration details that you provided, and our tool will do this, do the rest. This is our first stage for that is scheduling feature that we are about to finish. Scheduling feature is basically you specify which emails you want to send out emails. You specify how many emails to be sent each day. For example, 5,000 for 5 days, 10,000 for another 5 days, and so on. And then our AI, basically like our tool, will start to transition these emails in a way that meets target that you set. So that's going to save lots of time to ourselves, to some of our customers. But the next step will be to basically to go and do the full automation, right? So perfect. This is one of the questions. I'm also going to share our Net Capital page link here. Just in case anyone wants to check out. And again, so to summarize this, two things, right? Our marketing plan, which is trying to have some sort of breakthrough on marketplace through this email tool. Email tool is not deployed on marketplace yet, but once we have enough traction, we're going to deploy that and ride on this Netflix model basically. And second part is product building a fully automated solution so that people don't make that many mistakes. It's going to be trained on our know-how and our knowledge, which we acquired by sending like literally millions of emails. I would say pretty successfully, actually. And something that also going to save lots of time for the people. So if you want to check out our tool, it's on app.genesisai.io. And if you want to become part of Genesis AI community also by investing, I just posted the link there as well. So perfect. Okay, sounds good, guys. I really appreciate everyone's time. We are gonna share this recording as well, and looking forward to see what we can achieve in next few months. See you guys around.